Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Always delighted to be joined by Kalle Sauerland. Kalle, how are we?
Yeah, bit of I'm calling it this week a boxing jet lag because I'm on one time zone on the one fight. So I've just come from Eubank Junior's press workout. So that's like, what are we, 4 days out with that one. And then come straight to Bolton for the Lyndon Arthur Suarez IBO Light Heavyweight World Championship press conference for Channel 5, which is minus 3 days. So it's like adjusting to different time zones the whole time. Fascinating.
I think I'm on the same time zone as you, buddy. Let's start off with this though. Lyndon Arthur, you referenced on stage you think he's the best in the division.
I said when he's on.
When he's on, he's the best in the division.
Not so good, and he knows that. But when he's on, and that's something that he's been working harder with Pat. Is finding that fire quickly. He can do everything. Lyndon can do everything. We've seen it before. We saw it in the first yard fight. We see it in glimpses sometimes, unfortunately. But I also think that big stage puts it out. And Channel 5, IBO World Championship, Friday night, I'm hoping, I was joking with the Red Bulls, I'm hoping you don't need Red Bull because, but for Lyndon, who's normally very calm, today was up, he had a bounce about him today, which he doesn't always have in fight week.
Yeah, I spoke to him after the face-off and he said, look, I've not even shown everything yet. He says, I've got a big right hand. I just thought it's just not happened yet. I said, do you feel like it's because of the level of opponents and you know that as you get up to the likes of a Suarez and go past this, there's no going back and you'll probably have to show more of yourself. Are you looking forward to that? And he says, yeah, I can't wait. So does that give you a bit more excitement that there is that left in the tank, that he's got that bit extra to show? Yeah,
but, if you go and you've seen his gym, you've seen where he trains, it's not a David Lloyd, yeah? It's a proper boxing gym. And day in, day out, he's down that gym. That alone tells me his appetite. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So he's in this, for the big things. And people say, well, that's what everyone does. No. There's boxers, they get to a level and then they sort of switch off. They coast and they're happy to take fights for money where, earn a good living. Not like life-changing, but a good living. And they just coast. And as a promoter, it's so frustrating. Mm-hmm. Lynn's not one of them because he wants more and more, and that's what we're here to see on Friday night.
Absolutely. Well, look, let's talk about the other journey that you did just before that. I was there as well for Liam Smith and Chris Eubank, the open workouts. Junior, I'm watching some of his interview with Gary Neville. It looks like he's been through a lot the past 12 to 18 months. What do you make of his demeanour this camp, and how confident are you that he can get in there and do a job on Liam Smith this Saturday?
I must say, obviously in 23 years of promoting boxing and a lifetime of following it, I've had you've always have upsets like you do in sport generally, but the one in January was a weird one. Of course I could see that there was you could lose on points, but it was the way it happened. Now, I still haven't really understood what happened. Even the way he jumps up and doesn't take the count, he just rushes back in. There's all these things that you just sort of try and process and work out like, okay. But at the same time, he's in a place now where he is so much more prepared than the first fight. Now, even though I knew that the first camp wasn't the toughest of camps he'd ever done, and it was a question of underestimation. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and we saw. I still don't believe the end was down to that. I think it was was a punch at the right time, and that happens in boxing. That's what causes upsets. But I still feel that I still have that confidence about him. You know, it hasn't changed.
So even with the ending, you've still got that exact same belief that the best Chris Eubank Jr. beats the best Liam Smith?
Correct, exactly. That just summed it up nicely from there.
Did it come as a surprise to you purely because Chris has been in there with people that can bang? I mean, you look at George Groves, he's heavy-handed, and then so to see Liam Smith, who's not maybe as notable a puncher, is that what it came from, that wow?
I've seen over the years that, you know, there's boxers who simply can't punch, and they throw fantastic shots to the temple, will take down anyone, take down King Kong. Yeah, it happened. You know, can it happen again? Well, I guess it could, but it shouldn't. You know, if you look at the probabilities of it, no. But what's interesting is Liam will definitely believe it will happen again, and that will give him a different sort of fighting style. Mm-hmm. So I think that he's fascinating from both sides. I just think that, like you said before, I don't even think that it's about whether, you know, Eubank's better than Smith. I just think he's got all the tools that hurt Smith best. Mm-hmm. When he boxes the way that Eubank's boxed for 95% of his career.
Do you think the influence of BoMac, who is known for a short amount of time, can have some form of impact on him during this period? So obviously, he switched from Roy Jones. They appeared to get on. It's been amicable by all accounts, the split. Do you think that he can have an influence on Chris for this fight?
Yeah, it's a very different setup. But it's not about, you know, he's gone off, you know, so some people say, oh, what's he going to do with BoMac in, you know, a few weeks' time or a month's time? It's not about that. It's not like he's called up BoMac and said, can you teach me boxing? It's not the way it works, and it's not the way it worked. You know, he's brought him in for a camp and for a fight week and for a fight. It's about the whole team, and it's the first time at this level that he's had a team in his corner. You know, he's worked with Adam Booth for a short period, long time ago now. Mm-hmm. But in his career, since he, you know, went through the World Boxing Super Series, etc., he's never had a team. You know, he's had senior, and he's had Roy Jones, but those are individuals. He's now got a team, a traditional boxing setup around him, and I think he looks at that as I'm going to say taking comfort in it, but he's equipped with something else, as armour. So he's brought a different tool to the party, and. So it's not, you know, when people say, well, like, no, people, what is he, 35? He's trying to learn boxing now, so he's taking a new trainer and he's, you know, going to redevelop this and that and the other. Mm-hmm. No, you're not going to see, like, new things. No, and it's about, BoMac will look at it and say, right, what strategy to win this fight? And that's what they'll be working on. And that, by the way, is absolutely fine with that amount of time.
Providing things go well for him, there's still some big fights in the offing. He's always talked about Conor Benn. There's links of a Kell Brook.
You've all talked about Conor Benn. We've signed Conor Benn in the past, so yeah, Conor Benn.
Well, what's the likelihood of seeing a Conor Benn, whether he wins or loses? Is that fight still a probability?
That fight will eventually get made, yeah, win or lose. Yeah, but we're not talking about losing. We're going to win, and then yeah, Conor Benn gets his stuff into shape. We're there. You know, yeah. Kell Brook, interesting as well.
Kell Brook, obviously been out the ring since time you can. He's still a name in the mix, a big name.
Yeah, but, you know, there's loads out there. Billy Joe, you know, will always be a name out there. You know, Billy Joe will always be a name for Eubank, and Eubank will always be a name for Billy Joe. Given that first fight, you know, who wouldn't want to see it again? Different weights at the moment, but yeah, it's, you know, it's fights. There's a lot of interesting fights, but you can't look past. Obviously, Saturday night.
KSI, Tommy Fury. One of the wildest things I've ever seen. I didn't have the privilege to be there as I was elsewhere, but yeah, just. I was with you. Yeah, I can imagine. Did you find your phone?
Yeah, I did. I found my phone and the watch under a piece of cake on the stage. Yeah, I got some weird comments on that. So, like, didn't you notice that there was a massive brawl going on around you? And I said to my mate, I said, yeah, but just part and parcel of the day job. I was more concerned where my phone was and my watch. And I'm thinking, right, Big John's coming storming over here. We got security all over the stage. I need my phone.
Are you sort of immune to this now? I think when Misfits first started, it was like Coffeegate, this, that, and the other. Now it's like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I did get caught with a couple of things this time. Generally, I sort of I got hit by a name board. I think a piece of cake hit me, but I've been hit with fish. I've been hit with rotten fish, coffee, pizza. Water, that's something worth mentioning. No, Prime, loads of Prime.
We get that. We get water at normal press conference every now and again, don't we?
And by the way, my all-time, well, I'm going to say favourite, most spectacular one is still traditional boxing, and that was our friend Del Boy throwing the table at Dillian. You know, let's face it, that's still untoppable.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, providing KSI comes through, that we'll see KSI and Jake Paul?
I think we'll see KSI Conor McGregor. You know, I think that's
you think that can happen?
I think that's the one. You know, Conor seems to want it. KSI certainly wants it, and it's a fight we can get on. You know, I'm sure of that. But
he's here this week, and I believe at the Eubank Smith thing. I think Forged Irish Stout are sponsoring the event.
Fantastic.
You can have a quick word, see if he wants to do it.
Absolutely. Over a pint of Forged Stout.
Filip.
Or two.
Yeah, in fact, all three just take the whole barrel.
To get that fight done, I'll go through the whole bar.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure we would.
Right, I would. Even not to get the fight done. I do like that. Forged Stout. It's good. It's decent. I've tried it.
Usyk-Hrgovic. I know you've sort of touched on it, but expecting an announcement for Usyk, and obviously we know he's mandatory. Yeah. Do you think that'll get pushed through, or I know Charlie's been speaking to Eddie, and Eddie was like, expects an appeal from Usyk.
Just to stop you, rewind. Yeah, when we put out on Saturday night, people said, "Oh, you know, it's on." You know, what do you mean it's on? It's on. It's already happened. Like the announcements happened.
That's made.
No, the IBF wrote to both sides 3 weeks ago, telling us, beat McKean, beat Dubois, and that's the next fight. Mm-hmm. So it's on. Unless he wants to give up the belts, it's on. So it's not like this huge suspense. I'm not getting into this whole, you know, is there a protest? Is there this and is there that? And yeah, they should protest if they want to protest. But it's got nothing to do with us. It's our situation, by the way, started 2.5 years ago. We were very lenient, very patient last year when we were told that we're close to a deal. And this is a year ago now, yeah, on Fury Usyk. And then we sat back, and we were nudging them. You know, we're still here, you know. And people say, oh, Hrgovic, he didn't look that good in that fight. Why the fuck did he not look good in that fight? Because he didn't box in a year. Why didn't he not box in a year? Because he's mandatory. What? Oh, why didn't you let him box? Well, if he boxes, and not fucking just a pretty face, right? He would be unavailable, meaning what? So he's fought for that spot, and we'll jump over him, right? No, not on my watch, pal, right? Mm-hmm. Not going to happen. So we're in a fucking shitty situation. So people who go and say, well, Hrgovic shouldn't be this, Hrgovic, fuck off, right? Mm-hmm. Bollocks, complete crap, right? Complete shit. You don't know nothing about boxing and its rules, my friends, mm-hmm. right? You are mandatory. He was ordered to take part in a final eliminator in February 2021. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're coming up to 3 fucking years, right? He's gone through, or we've gone through the whole rankings. We've gone through purse bids with Michael Hunter, with Andy Ruiz. Fucking Big Bang. Big Bang is the man. He fucking turned up. That's why he's even, I don't know what would have happened in the end, but we were supposed to go down to number 50 to find someone who's going to fight him. So don't start with, you didn't box. Yeah, he didn't box great until the 12th round because he's been out a year. I'm grateful for every round he got. So it's complete shite. People talk so much shite. Read the rules and then let's have a chat. But he's done that. The kid's done fucking nothing wrong. Fuck me, my language. I hope my mum's not watching. But but it winds me up when people just go, oh, it's got like, what? Why is it him? Why is it him?
He's
Why is
fought
it
to
him?
get there.
He's fought to get there. You ask anyone who does know about the game, who has been around the gyms for the last decade, and ask him about Filip Hrgovic, right? So, yes, not a great performance against Zhang. What is it now? 13 months ago, yeah? Not the best performance, although in the end it was a good finish against McKean, by the way. Both of them top draw heavyweights. He's had a year off between them. Before Zhang was also a year. Everything done to the letter of the law from the IBF. So no. And by the way, like that's a I'd say a $2 million investment in those two fights. So you're telling me that oh no, he should just take a chill pill, right, while we get this sorted. No. People, we're not taking a chill pill. Tyson's fighting Ngannou in 2 months, right? So on the one hand, it's, oh, well, he's going to beat Ngannou, isn't he? Wow, okay, he's going to beat Ngannou. So why is that happening? No, it's a live fight. They're fighting, okay. So, okay, we should allow them to go and make a deal in 2 months, okay. And then Fury, I don't know, gets injured against Ngannou, loses to Ngannou, whatever, it's boxing. And then, oh, by the way, it's another 4 months from there. Then they fight. Okay, so best case they fight in 6 months. So we're hanging around, by the way, now for another 6 months. Yeah. Then, believe me, it's another 5 months after that fight. Probably earning so much money. It's probably 6 months after that fight. So actually, you know what, Filip, El Animal, you take a year off now. And by the way, in a year's time, when he doesn't perform to the highest level, again, it's like, well, he didn't perform that well. Well, guess what? He's had another fucking year off, right? So, no, people, give the man a break, read the fucking rules, and then talk to me.
Well, Carl, I think that's the perfect way to end this interview. Appreciate you talking to Boxing Social. Catch up again soon.
It's a pleasure.